much, and I know we might struggle a little bit. We don't have some AV, but we're going to do our best to an energetic rally because this is an energetic crowd. Oh, good. Who met with their lawmaker today? Amazing. Everybody, welcome to Springfield. It is cold, and we came here for climate. My name is Jen Walling, and I'm the Executive Director of the Illinois Environmental Council, and I am excited to welcome you to Climate Lobby Day at the Capitol. And I'm thrilled to have you here. I think I'm actually going to pass it right away. We're here on the Clean and Reliable Grid Act, the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act, and the Clean and Healthy Buildings Act. We're going to get our sponsor, who's been working so hard on transportation and transit, and I'm going to pass it to Rep. Avedina Delgado to go first.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm Avedina Delgado. I'm the state rep on the northwest side of the city of Chicago, and I am a huge transit fan. I am a believer in this bill, and the reason I'm a believer in this bill is because I know that good transit means that we are going to change the climate challenges we are facing today. Good transit means that our communities are healthier. It means that you can get to where you need to go, where you want to go in an affordable way. And that is what we are going to accomplish this year in the General Assembly. I am the chief sponsor of the MMA Act. What the MMA is, the Metropolitan Mobility Authority. That means we're going to take 4 transit agencies with 47 board members and turn them into one agency that is going to provide service for you as a rider, because that is what our transit agencies need to be focused on. Riders, one fare, one schedule, one system. That is what we deserve in this state. That is what the people of Illinois want to see. And that, my friends, with your help, is what we are going to deliver this year. So I'm going to ask you all, come back. We're going to be doing this over the next 4 months. I am so glad that you are here with us today so that you can share with the folks that represent you down here in Springfield what your priorities are, what you want to see, and how you want to see it done. I'm going to need your help again. We're going to be doing this all session long. So when we call, I hope that you all answer that call and come down here and keep making your voice heard. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being committed. I am your partner. I am here to make this happen, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rep. Avedina Delgado has been such a champion on this issue, and we have more champions that are going to be coming by, but I don't see a ton of them quite yet. So I think right now we're going to bring Kyle Lucas in. Well, actually, let's do some chants first. Why don't we get it to be a little quieter? Giselle is going to lead us in a few chants, and then we're going to keep going.
Hey, Giselle. Hey. Good afternoon to my environmental enthusiasts.
No projection.
Okay, so we're going to start off with this first chant. Transit is essential. Invest now for untapped potential. Okay? Join in when you can. Transit is essential. Invest now for untapped potential. One more time. Transit is essential. Invest now for untapped potential. One more time. Transit is essential. Invest now for untapped potential.
Great. Thank you, Giselle. And I think now we are going to have Kyle Lucas from Better Streets Chicago come up.
Kyle!
Good afternoon, Illinois climate champions. My name is Kyle Lucas. I am the executive director of Better Streets Chicago. We are a grassroots organization that are fighting for better streets and for better public transit. And I am proud here today to fight with all of you for a clean, accessible, affordable, and equitable transportation future. Are you here to fight with me? For too long, Illinois has failed to adequately invest in our transportation systems, leaving Illinoisans with far too choices to get around. Most can only get around by car. And this increases the number of cars on our roads, making our air dirty and our streets unsafe. And this is because people can't rely on public transit or active modes of transportation, like walking to the grocery store or riding their bike to school. That ain't right.
Right. That ain't right.
This historic disinvestment has consequences, which are evident everywhere you go in Illinois. Every time I visit my parents in Mattoon, I see people on e-bikes. Folks in their community increasingly have the desire to take advantage of the economic benefits of getting around by bike. But the city lacks any safe cycling infrastructure, and all their newest economic development is only accessible by car, making it dangerous or impossible for them to participate in that economic development. That ain't right. I think of my grandmother, who lives just an hour down the road from here in Beardstown. She's nearing an age where she may soon no longer be able to drive. She lives within walking distance of a grocery store, but her neighborhood does not have sidewalks. And for her to get there, she has to cross a busy, high-speed, dangerous, state-owned road. And that is putting her ability to continue to maintain her independence in her home at jeopardy. That ain't right. Back home in Chicago, I think of Lily Shambrook, who at just 2 years old was killed by a semi-truck driver while on the back seat of her mother's bicycle. Peter Paquette, 78, killed while trying to cross a dangerous state-owned road. Isaac Martinez, 13, killed while riding his brand new bike home with his friends after going to the store to get candy. I think of last year when I saw my life flash before my eyes all 3 of the times I was hit while working as a bicycle courier.
Wow.
I know that I am lucky to be standing here today still in this fight. But luck is not a stand-in for policy.
Right.
And thankfully, we are not talking about rocket science. The Transportation Choices Act, which is part of the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act, is smart, common sense legislation that lays the foundation for the transformative change that all Illinoisans deserve. That means clean and healthy air, safe streets, and the freedom that real choice in how we get around offers. And with the absence of federal leadership, it is more critical than ever that our state legislators lead us boldly into that future. Woo! And so I'm here today to fight with all of you, but I am asking you, are you ready to fight with me? I'm so glad to hear that. Let's fight and get the equitable transportation that we know Illinoisans deserve. Thank you.
Great, and it's been a busy day at the Capitol. I know many of you have been tracking down your lawmakers all day. They've been getting stuff done as part of the session, but I'm thrilled to have two of our huge climate champions and bill sponsors here today. First, we're going to hear from Senator Ram Philavalam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Jen said there was a no mic, and I said no problem. You know, my colleague, Leader Cunningham, noted that I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, so I've had to raise my voice a couple times. But it's great to be with you all. I'm thrilled to see so many advocates here today. You all are sending a strong message that Illinoisans want and need transportation reform. So much so that they'll travel many hours in the frigid cold during a lame duck session to make it happen. I am proud to lead in this fight with you for the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act. This legislative package is a comprehensive vision for a transformed, electrified transportation sector that invests in sustainable, affordable, and equitable active modes of transportation. That's why the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act tackles electrification and reforms our transportation sector. It includes the Zero Emissions Vehicles Act, the Transportation Choices Act, and the Metropolitan Mobility Authority Act. And I just want to focus in on that last part, the Metropolitan Mobility Act. I am chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, and we have had 6 committee hearings throughout the summer, over 25 hours of testimony on the status of our public transit system in Northern Illinois and across the state. This issue is too important to not get right. And I am honored and proud to help lead the charge. And the reason I say it's too important is of the issues that we're raising. One, it's about safety. We know that we need safety on our public transit, and we know that we have a congestion challenge in the city of Chicago and surrounding areas. We just heard about some of the unfortunate tragedies that have taken place. Putting more people on our public transit will lead to safer communities. We have to make sure that public transit is safe as well. It means reliability. It means we need to make sure that if you are that worker that has 2 jobs, that you're trying to get to your job, your hospital for your doctor's visit, or your school, that if a bus or train says they're going to be there, they better be there. And that means accessibility. 95 out of the top 100 longest commutes stem from Black and Latino communities. That means their commutes are longer, and it makes their lives harder. We need to change that. We need to make it more equitable and accessible. So I am going to be in this fight. And by the way, we are going to find a way to make zero emissions buses for our CTA and PACE fleets happen. I said this when I was visiting with constituents from my district. I have a 6-year-old, I have a 3-year-old. I have had the unpleasant experience of walking behind a CTA bus and experiencing the fumes. I do not want that for my kids or the future generation. So together, we're going to get this done. And I'll end by saying this. There is no shortage of challenges that we are going to be facing in this next session, and there's serious challenges that working class and middle class families are relying on us to solve. We are not going to pit one issue against another, but we are going to be bold, and we're going to get all of them done, and we're going to do it together. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your leadership, Senator Philavalam. Next, we're going to have, I think many of you know, over the last few days, we've been working on solving some of the issues of getting renewable energy onto the grid faster. There's a little bill that's going forward, but we've been so grateful for Leader Bill Cunningham and his championship around renewable energy issues. He is committed to getting renewable energy on the ground, in the grid, faster than we have before. And I'm going to give the mic to him to talk a little bit about that fight.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, everyone, for coming down. Really appreciate this. And you coming here on a cold day, a rough day to get here and getting involved is so important, and I'll tell you why. As Jen mentioned, I work on a lot of legislation regarding the management of the power grid, okay? That's really complicated, kind of boring stuff to ordinary people. And it's really complex for those of us here in the legislature. Now, we get a lot of help from groups like the Illinois Environmental Council, the Sierra Club, and a lot of the groups you work with to help explain that to legislators and how important these things are, okay? What we need your help with is explaining that to our constituents. You are all very well educated, very committed to this cause. A lot of our neighbors have similar points of view. They know the planet is warming. They want to do something about it, but they don't always get the subtlety and the complexity of the issues we deal with. You know, one of the things we're trying to do, Jen mentioned it, is tackle energy efficiency. We know that if we invest in energy efficiency, by maybe asking people to pay a few extra cents on their energy bill, that we're going to save 2 or 3 times that on the back end by lowering the amount of energy we consume. Okay? That's something we need help explaining to our constituents, to our neighbors, to our friends. And you can do that as well as we can. It's really important. No movement right now in the state of Illinois or anywhere, I think, in the country has made as much progress in recent years as the grassroots environmental movement. And all of you are responsible for that. And you've achieved much, but there is much more we need to do. As we go into the next legislative session, we're going to be looking at these issues involving managing the power grid. We have 2 big power grids in the state that are controlled by multi-state entities that we have very little control over. So we're going to have to be very bold with some of the plans we do. Those entities aren't always really welcoming to getting renewable generation onto the grid. So we have to be bold here in Illinois and try to make those things happen. I am certainly going to do my part here to make that happen in the legislative session. I hope you guys do your part, and I know you will, to inspire confidence among our constituents and make sure people understand how important this is and help us push this legislation across the finish line. Thank you so much, everyone. Look forward to working with you.
Great, and I do want to shout out our Green Caucus Chair, Anna Moeller, who's here. So, thank you. But next, especially, she is in a rush because she has to go pass a bill, our bill. We have Majority Leader Robin Gable, who's going to speak now.
Hello, good afternoon. I represent the 18th District, which is the North Shore of Chicago. And I am really, really pleased to be here. So, I'm working with Senator Cunningham, and really, I kind of just want to say ditto. We've been working so hard on energy efficiency, but first of all, I do want to say how much we appreciate all of you. It really is great that you came down here. It's great that you're active, because, as he said, these are complicated issues. And we count on you to help explain them to all of your neighbors and your friends and your communities. So, as you know, Illinois is the best state in terms of climate action. We have passed an amazing bill, CJA, and now kind of our job is to make sure it's implemented correctly and that it's implemented in a timely manner. So, I am now going back to pass a bill that will make sure that companies can get paid to establish more renewable energy. There are some technical issues that we need to address to make sure that we can meet our clean energy goals, which is what? Totally 100% clean energy by 2040 and totally renewable energy by 2050. I know we can get there. We have a great core of legislators that are working very hard to get there, and I know we can count on you to help us. So thank you again for coming, and I'm sure I will see you again soon.
All right, great. I'm going to have Giselle up for another chant. Let's get excited.
Okay. I know you guys are rallied up. Let's use some of that energy. Okay. Clean power, now's the time. No consumer left behind. Let's join in. Clean power, now's the time. No consumer left behind. Clean power, now's the time. No consumer left behind. Clean power, now's the time. No consumer left behind.
All right, I'm going to get up Senator Mike Simmons, another one of our Green Caucus champs, to say hello.
Hello, hello, everybody.
It's not working.
Okay. Outside voice. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Senator Mike Simmons. I represent the far north side of Chicago. And I want to start off by saying thank you to my constituents that I just met with to go through the spring 2025 legislative agenda for the Clean Jobs Coalition. I am so proud to stand with you on all of our clean energy goals. This is about the most important issue that our generation will have to get its hands around. Whether we're talking about clean transportation, whether we're talking about energy efficient buildings, whether we're talking about increasing rectifying the supply and demand of our energy, this is the work that we must do. So thank you all for being here on January 7th, 2025. If this energy is any indication of what the spring is going to be like, we're going to pass some really big, important bills in this area, right? And lastly, I want to say thank you to all of you that worked with me and the Illinois Environmental Council and Leader Gable on Senate Bill 727, which just passed both houses last night. This is the bill that sets us on a path to limit PFAS and contaminants in our water supplies. This is so important, so important. We're going to have clean water in this General Assembly, so thank you for that work, and looking forward to working with you on many, many more bills.
Right. All right. Oh, and I want to, we got Senator Rachel Ventura, who's been a champion of the Green Caucus as well. I have one speaker. We have one more, one of our speakers, Madeline, who's going to come up and talk right now. So.
Who's ready to talk about clean buildings? Well, great. First, we have to talk about the truth about gas. Gas is expensive. Gas is not good for our wallets, and it's definitely not good for our climate. We simply cannot afford to continue to invest and expand in a system that impacts our health, our climate, and our wallets. Across Illinois, people struggle to pay their gas bills, while gas utilities continue to bring in record profits. These rate hikes are especially problematic for low-income communities who are experiencing energy burdens. Folks should not have to pick between buying groceries or paying their gas bill. We cannot tolerate this. This is simply wrong. Not only is methane gas expensive, it impacts our health. Methane gas burned in our homes produces benzene, which is a known carcinogen. It's also attributable to childhood asthma, which Illinois leads in. Upgrading our buildings away from the dirty, expensive gas system with tools like a heat pump will lower energy bills, reduce toxins in our homes, and help our planet. That is why it is time for the Illinois General Assembly to pass the Clean and Healthy Buildings Act. We must reduce pollution in our buildings and begin the managed and equitable transition off of the dirty gas system to more affordable clean energy solutions. We can do this now if we start to plan. We simply cannot wait. But we cannot do this without the support of climate champions like Governor J.B. Pritzker and the legislators casting votes in the building today. Let's hold them accountable to their climate commitments and get this done. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to give the mic to Senator Rachel Ventura to say hello.
Hello. There's no mic.
Oh, there's no projection.
Okay.
Not really.
Hi, I'm Rachel Ventura, the 43rd District, which is the Joliet area. I have the largest inland port in my district. So clean air is crucial. On top of that, I was a former naturalist, so saving our planet, I am a tree hugger. So moving over our transportation, making sure we have clean air, clean water, making sure our soil and our food is all protected for future generations means so much, not only to my district, but to me personally and to my family. You have my commitment to continue to make sure that we are pushing bold solutions for climate challenges and climate crisis of tomorrow. If that means taking off fossil fuel or the truckers or large industry to make sure that we are putting people and planet over profit, I will always be there to help lead the charge or follow in the strong footsteps of my colleagues. And thank you all for being here. This is such a crucial issue, and I just wish that this entire Capitol was full of individuals, but thank you for being your own leaders and being here and continue to spread that message. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna end with the chant again from Giselle, and then other instructions to follow.
All right, guys, this is our last chant. I want the entire building to hear us. Are we ready? Yeah. Love it. Okay. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Oil and gas have got to go. Join in. Ho, ho. Oil and gas have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Oil and gas have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Oil and gas have got to go.
Thank you all for being climate champions that were here today. We obviously had so many of our other climate champions from these legislators that were here today, but because of your voices, we can and must pass this legislation. Let's today's Lobby Day serve as the kickoff for a powerful year for climate action. Together, we can carry this momentum forward and ensure Illinois continues to lead on climate justice. Thank you.